Welcome to Masterpiece Tarot. Here you'll find timeless messages to guide your soul's awakening. If you're here, trust. You are meant to be. Please show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. These help support my mission of creating more peace on earth. Thank you for being here, collective. Welcome in. I just did a small reading. I got a cool message, and the focus of the message, I left it up to spirit, but the focus of the message is it was a message of freedom. So I think that's going to be our theme for today, if that continues to come up. But basically, I'm just kind of looking at an individual who is seeking more freedom in their life. And so we're just going to stick with it. I love that energy. I love the idea of freeing ourselves as much as we can so that we can be who we need to be, move about in the way that we need to move about. Um, you know, Freedom is an internal thing, and it also then can manifest externally. So the more freedom we can create within ourselves by letting go of, belief systems, letting go of, detachments of any kind. So this could be behaviors, all this stuff, okay? People, jobs, attachments. So that's kind of what's in the back of my mind today. I'm going to be channeling messages through from Spirit, of course. So a big thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to be this channel and for assisting me to bring through these messages. I am going to start with a masculine feminine reading. This is for counterparts, and we'll just kind of see where the counterparts are at the moment. All right, Divine Spirit, please help us to understand what's happening in the counterpart dynamics here between masculines and feminines. Take the genders as they resonate. You can flip them if you need to. These are just energies. And with this freedom being a main theme here today. Okay, I think I'll cut the deck. Getting that feeling. Masculines, feminines. Masculines here on the left. Main card for the masculines, the Six of Swords. This is somebody moving to calmer waters. This is masculine is embodying this King of Cups energy, somebody who's got mastery over their emotions, very loving, nurturing, and an Ace of Wands in the near future, a passionate new beginning for masculine, okay? And then for feminine here on the right, we've got a Six of Cups, all right? There's a past life soul connection. 6-6. Temperance, peace and harmony. This is that temperance angel. So feminine is really tapping in right now to like her divinity, their divinity. Also being a messenger in the Nine of Cups. So, all right. Wow, so interesting. We've got we've got 3 cups. We've got 1 wand, 1 swords. Yeah. Okay. These are overall really positive energies here. Very, very positive. A lot of love and passion, movement. What I'm noticing here is there's a sense of movement in both of these cards in the recent past. So we see on the masculine side, there's a boat, and we're moving into calmer waters, out of choppy waters. So that's like in the water element, even though this is a sword, a card of the mental, air. And here with the Six of Cups, we have this pathway. And there's sort of this connecting between, a past life and the present life. So this could be in this lifetime, or it could be in previous lifetimes, but we're connecting. There's a sense of connecting in with something from the past, something familiar. Let's go ahead and clarify here. The Six of Swords, we have a Knight of Pentacles, a Nine of Wands, and an Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, our masculine is working on something. They'd like to move forward. Yeah, towards something in the physical realm. Currently, they're feeling a little wiped out. They're strong. They're on the move. We can see in the Six of Swords here. They're moving ahead, perhaps a little slowly, with that being a Knight of Pentacles. Possibly because they're tired. They've been working hard with the Eight of Pentacles. Definitely forward movement. Tell us about the King of Cups here on the masculine side. What's up with the King of Cups? Now we have another Nine of Cups here. Okay. This is feeling, very satisfied and fulfilled in one's life. Feeling happy. An Eight of Cups. Walking away. And a Two of Wands. Yeah. So here in the current, this carries over from the last part of the reading here. But we see this person, this might be our masculine, this King of Cups. It could be a water sign masculine. Doesn't have to be. This is just energy. Somebody who's, moving from their heart. Somebody with a lot of love and compassion. We see that our masculine here, in the present energy, is sitting in this Nine of Cups. This is usually a single person. They're happy, they've fulfilled, they've got what they need. The last thing that would complete this picture would be a Ten of Cups, one more cup. And in the Ten of Cups, there's a family. So this person, he looks quite content here. He maybe is thinking about his family that he's going to be building or moving toward. Here we have somebody walking away from, some cups that are still standing, walking towards something better. It could be that, anytime we have to move away or make a change, things get left behind. So in this, in the recent past, we see that he's moving away from choppy waters. This could be, reminiscent of that. He's moving away from something that wasn't terrible, but he's seeking better. He's seeking more. And this card really confirms he's looking out over the horizon. He's made a choice. He's chosen that one wand that he's got his hand on right there. Yeah, and he's starting to plan. He's starting to plan for this next chapter. And what is this next chapter? It might have something to do with a passionate new beginning. This could be a passionate move in career. This could be in relationships. This could be starting a new project, dreaming up a new idea. It's creativity and passion here. There's a sense of a Seven of Swords, okay? Sometimes that has to do with strategy. Sometimes it has to do with deceit. There's a Hermit. Somebody's looking within. Alrighty. Well, here's what I'm getting. We have the Hermit here in this spread looking back. Yes, he's alone, and he's looking into the Lantern, which is his North Node. He's using his intuition to understand something about himself, perhaps what he's been through. We also see that he's facing this Seven of Swords energy. So there was some type of deception, some sneaking, some lying, some cheating in the past, and he's looking at it. And this is part of moving forward, is always, you know, integrating the lessons of the past. This is ultimately what helps us to move ahead in a way where we're not just repeating the same cycle, but actually progressing in life. And I love that these two cards are framed by an Ace of Swords, which is truth, and it's a new idea, and a passionate new start. We've got two aces. These are new beginnings, framing this person who I believe is our King of Cups, who's looking at the past while at the same time really embracing this new beginning. Okay, our masculine, he's been moving forward for the whole duration of this reading, but now in the very near future he is going to be completely embracing this newness. Okay, he's going to be really looking at it. When he comes out a hermit, he might even talk to you about it, feminine, if you're listening. He might even, you know, have some new insights. God, look at what I was doing. Can you believe this? Or look at what was happening back there. I'm so glad to have this new start. You know, something like this. You know, we see the movement. We've got that 6. There's movement here. There's movement here. And there's movement here. We also have stillness, and so that's another really neat thing about this spread. So here we have movement, but at the same time we have these images of being still and reflective. And this isn't this just the way it is in life, you know? It's the yin and the yang. It's the being still and receiving, sitting in feminine energy, while at the same time embodying masculine energy of movement, of doing, of taking action. So isn't that just the way it is in life, you know? And the more we can be in these energies and have these energies balanced within ourselves, the better I think our lives really can become. We become more balanced. All right, let's look at feminine. Well, I love what's happening on masculine side is really nice. There's a real sense of everything's moving in the same direction here. There's no sign of having a split mind about something or a, you know, inner conflict. I'm not seeing inner conflict at all over there. Tell us about feminine. What's the 6 of Cups here? Okay, there's a 7 of Wands. This is somebody defending themselves. They're fighting for what they believe. They have conviction. There's our 2 of Pentacles. That's somebody trying to balance things. It can be about juggling. And now we have a 5 of Wands. So there's some kind of conflict. Somehow this relates to a soulmate or a past life for this feminine. Somehow this relates to a soulmate or a past life. What I'm getting though is that feminine's trying to figure out how to integrate what is happening in her life right now with her past lives. Is there an alignment? You know, sometimes we can use information from the past lives or life to help us understand if we're on the right path now. And so there's a sense here, and the reason I say that is because we're looking at these cards here. All these wands, this is about action, doing, fire energy. This is standing your ground, and this is competition. We've got a 5 and a 7. And I think our feminine is perhaps contemplating all this fiery energy in her past. Is this in alignment? Is this the energy that I want to be in? It is where I'm at. It's where I've been. I've been in all of this conflict. I've been needing to defend myself. But is this where I want to go? When I connect in with my higher self, when I see my reflection in my soulmate, is this what I'm trying to cultivate? Does this feel aligned? Or does it feel off somehow? Okay, so I think our feminine perhaps has been in a contemplative energy, even though there's all this action happening around with the competition and the rivalry and defending yourself. And then in the current here, we have somebody who's meditating. Here's the Temperance Angel. This is somebody really tapping into their divinity. This is about healing. This is about peace and harmony. And so, you know, what feminine's doing here is going, okay, there's a lot of chaos. Let's call it chaos in my life. Is this, you know, if this is chaos and this is peace and harmony, am I balancing these correctly in my life? Is there enough peace and harmony, which is embodied by this Temperance card? And so what I'm seeing is that in the past, there was way more chaos. Here in the present, feminine sitting in this Temperance a lot more. But let's clarify. Let's see if we're on target with this, or if there's still more to do in terms of moving away from the chaos. We have a Page of Wands, we have an Empress, and the Hanged Man. Okay. Well, pages are always students. They're not really doing much yet. They're thinking about doing something, but they're studying. They're studying, they're working hard to understand and learn about something. And I think what we can see here is that this feminine is really working hard to solidify the healing work that she's done so far. And yeah, with the Empress, this is the quintessential divine feminine card. She's fertile. She's got everything she needs. She embodies all four queens of the deck, right? So she really has mastery, but she's the divine feminine of the deck. And with the Hanged Man, this is Pisces. That was Taurus energy. This is Pisces energy. You know, this Hanged Man card symbolizes somebody who's in a bit of a holding pattern. They're waiting. They are looking for more enlightenment. And we do see that this person is enlightened. And that is perhaps why our feminine is in this period of pause. They're not moving ahead. They're looking a little closer. They're making sure, whoever this feminine is, this might be you, collective. If this is you, collective, you are assessing things. You're taking a really good look. How well am I balancing these things? And, you know, the wisdom is that in life, you know, you're never going to get away from chaos. It's always going to be there. Peace and harmony is really wonderful, and it's an important thing to cultivate. But being able to balance those two, being able to be flexible, so that you can move in and out of those, not only easily, but with intention, is going to serve you really well in life. And I think that's what you are now realizing, collective. If you're the feminine watching this, you know, you have a lot of control over where your life goes and how you want it to look. Just on a day-to-day energetic level. How much chaos do you want in your life? That's what I'm kind of getting here. And now here with the Nine of Cups, here's that single person. They're fulfilled with that last cup. They'll have with that very last cup, they will have completion. Oh my goodness, and there's a Two of Cups. You guys? Oh. Feminine, you might be looking at a connection. You might be in a connection. You might be soon to enter a new connection. or you know, have a reunion with somebody from the past. There's that Nine of Wands. There's a heavy burden here, but this is a card that somebody's burdened, but it's also incredible that they're able to hold all of those, right? What a feat. So there's a little of both going on there. And a Page of Swords. All right, feminine, you might be... This ties right back to what we're talking about in the beginning with these wands. We've got a 5, a 7, and a 9 of wands. So here in the near future, we see that the wands have increased to the extent now to where they're at a 9. And if we're going with the theme of chaos, with the 5 and the 7 and now the 9, kind of tagging on to that feeling of, you know, having to fight and work really hard, work really, really hard. Okay, there's a sense now that this can't get much higher. Once you have the 10, one more wand, you're going to have to put it down. You're almost at that point where you're going to be able to put it down. Why are you going to be able to put it down? Because there's a new idea that you're thinking about. There's something that you are formulating. You're learning about something. What are you learning about? You are learning about relationship dynamics. You're learning about love. You're understanding that there's a beauty in being single and also what's possible with a partnership. And I'm really getting here, because of what we're seeing on the masculine side, and because this is a counterpart reading, whoever I'm reading for, masculine or feminine, you both, I'm getting the feeling that perhaps there's been a separation, or perhaps this is something that's just been in the works for a while. On the masculine side, there's this final cleanup. There's this final cleanup happening, but there's a strong belief and knowing and trusting in this new beginning that's about to start with the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords. There's a belief. And here, with this third eye activation, you know, this is all about intuition here. You know, seeing with the third eye. It's what you feel to be true. You know, you can close your eyes and tune into your other senses and receive information about what is true, what is there, but it comes through a feeling sense, which is a feminine quality, and this is showing up on the masculine side over here. And then when we look here with regard to this new beginning, these, you know, cards here, feminine, you are thinking about this, but in a little bit of a different way. You might be thinking more of the practicality of it all with these wands. Just in terms of, this is a heavy burden and this is my physical body and I'm holding it. Of course, wands are fire. You might also just be holding a lot of passion here for this soulmate. You're thinking about how this could go. You're studying this new idea. But it's masculine over here that's got this idea right here with the aces. So yeah, this is a nice reading because it really shows an alignment between two counterparts. We don't always get so much alignment. A lot of times it's like counterparts will be on different timelines. You know, counterparts can know that they're connected, but be very keenly aware that they're on different timelines. But here we see a timelines lining up, I think. I'm not seeing that they're not. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing towers or Yeah, there's a lot of contemplation here. A lot of thinking going on and being. Okay, so I am going to draw these cards here for the connecting energies. So here we have a Three of Cups. Now there could be a sense of some type of celebration. These colors are really aligned here. We've got a Three of Cups and a Six of Cups. And the main card over here is this Six of Swords. So we've got 636. This is about movement. This is about reflecting on a past life connection. And we have a woman, a man, and a dog. And we see 3 cups here. And the 3 cups here are grounded. The 3 birds are aloft. That's reflected here as well. And here we have the water, and the birds represent the sky, the heavens. The 3 of Cups is typically about celebration, groups. This could be a small family, a small soul group. You and your counterpart, if you're tuned into this, that are going to be coming together in the near future, you could constitute a soul group. You could be soulmates. There could be others that may be joining you or that have joined you in the recent past, okay, to help bring you forward, masculine, and you more into balance, feminine. Okay, there's some sense of coming together with soul family with this card in the recent past. And here in the current energy, we have a Four of Swords. Now this one is about resting. And we really see that here in the energies clearly, very clearly. We were talking about this King of Cups being in a meditative kind of an energy. He's thinking about moving, what's going to be coming up next. He was also, as we recall, reflecting on the past here as he's sitting here pondering it all. Feminine in the current energy is in Temperance. So remember, the Four of Swords in the traditional deck, we've got somebody lying down, the swords are above, and he's like horizontal resting on something, and there's one sword under. So that is the card of peace, reflection, taking a break. That is very much supported in these energies. So if this message is resonating for you, this might be a message that might be a good time to rest. Okay, take it easy, do some reflecting, do some visualizing of what it is that you're wanting to, or knowing that you're going to be manifesting here. Take your rest. And here in the very near future, let's get one more card to tie our masculine and feminine, like a bridging energy for masculine and feminine. A Mother of Cups. Okay. The counterpart to the King of Cups is the Queen of Cups. Yeah, very much so. Queen of Cups, or the Mother of Cups, is nurturing, definitely has a high level of emotional intelligence, very compassionate, very understanding, very empathic, very intuitive as well, because cups have to do with water. And water is like the unconscious, the hidden, that part of our consciousness sometimes. And then here we have the Nine of Cups. So masculine energies in the near future is like, okay, Okay, here we go. We're starting. And feminine's like, yeah, wahoo, we're starting. And the mother's like, now, kids. She's like got this wing outstretched. She's kind of doing this protective thing, how, I don't know if this is a swan, but will kind of shield their young with their wings sometimes. It's very cute. So yeah, there's a lot of nurturing that's happening here in the near future. And it's kind of like this maternal energy that's just helping to, push somebody out of the nest, so to speak, in a way. Push maybe you and your counterpart out of the nest. Like, okay, it's your time. It's your time to fly. You go for it. You've got this. Whatever a very encouraging mother would say. Okay. Yeah, really nice reading for counterparts today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Bye for now.